name is Morris Goodman. On March 10th, 1981, I left home on a pleasure trip. When I left, I had a loving wife, enjoyed a successful business career, and had a beautiful home. When I came back...
He arrested did CPR for about 7 minutes on him, had a defibrillator. He's respiratory. Right now he doesn't have any respiratory effort. He does have a pulse. He's got a pressure of about 80 by Doppler.
What's his Glasgow?
Glasgow 3 at this time, not responding to pain even.
I got the family out here. Anything I can tell?
He's coma scale of 3 right now.
I just tell him that he's unresponsive at this time.
Mrs. Goodman?
Mrs. Goodman?
I'm Sandy Goodman.
I'm Morris's sister, Pat.
I'm his mother.
Hello.
How is he?
I'm afraid I can't tell you what you would like to hear. His condition is extremely critical.
What are his chances?
I have been in the medical profession, Mrs. Goodman, for a good number of years. And the fact that your husband is alive at this moment makes medical history. No one, to my knowledge, has ever survived a break in the first or second cervical vertebrae. Your husband's neck is broken in both those places. His spinal column was crushed. His larynx is damaged so severely that he will never speak again. He also is suffering permanent nerve damage, causing a dysfunctioning of the liver, the bladder, the kidneys, and the diaphragm, which means that he can't breathe and will never breathe without the use of a respirator. His swallowing reflexes are damaged so severely that he won't ever be able to eat or drink again. I'm sorry to have to tell you all this, but quite candidly, I don't think he can survive the night. Morris?
I knew I was going to have to ward off the negative expectations of the medical staff.
Usually, injuries such as you have sustained are fatal. The odds are not in your favor.
Every story has its villains, and the bad guys in mine seem to be society itself. When someone sustains injuries as severe as mine, they just expect that person to die. I didn't care what medical science expected. I knew what I expected, and that was to beat the odds and walk out of the hospital on my own 2 feet. And that's the way we work here. I want you gentlemen to know that we here at Morris E. Goodman and Associates are highly goal-oriented. I always have a battle plan in motion, one that will overcome virtually any obstacle, achieve any goal. I always set a short-term and a long-term. I want you to goal, ones that will provide a major sense of accomplishment. My long-term goal was to walk out of the hospital a normal man. This one that will overcome virtually any obstacle.
This operation has never been done before. You have 1 chance in 1,000 of surviving. And the best you can hope for, if you do survive, is a wheelchair for the rest of your life. Now, if you understand and approve of this surgery, indicate yes by blinking your eyes once. If no, blink twice.
And so, with the blink of an eye, I set my first goal, to live.
That night we slept on the beach, as a matter of fact. After what we put him through, I can't believe he's still alive.
For what he's got to look forward to, though, probably been better if they just not pulled him out of the airplane.
I've never seen anything like it. We had him in there for 9 hours. We replaced his torn ligaments with plastic. We fused his neck from the base of his skull to the 4th vertebra. We literally wired him together.
What are his chances now?
Slim. Very slim. If he survives, he'll only be able to blink his eyes for the rest of his life. The only hope I can give you is that in about 20 months he might, and I can't emphasize that word enough, he might be able to sit in a wheelchair with the use of a respirator. And what I see for his future is a nursing home and a short, non-productive life. I'm sorry, but we did the best we could.
Society's conditioned us to lose and had plans for me to spend a lifetime just existing. The medical doctors left me with the impression that I would be a vegetable, and who was I to argue? But I did. That's not the picture I saw of myself. I had to believe with all my heart and mind that I would be normal again. When I would close my eyes, I would relive that fateful day and the events that led up to it.
Hi, I'm Zig Ziglar. Ever hear the word snob? If you don't know what it means, I'll tell you a little bit later on. It's probably a word that can mean happiness or sorrow, success or failure, maybe even life or death. But first, I want to tell you that man was born to win, but he's been conditioned to lose. Other people tell us we can't do something, we believe it, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and then we really can't.
As my condition stabilized, I had more visitors, and the need to communicate motivated my sister Pat to invent a code that was more sophisticated.
Body card? No. Key systems card? No. Person's card? Aha, alphabet card. Okay, Morris, which box is the first letter in? Fourth box. Which line? First line. S-T-U-V. T. Okay, second letter. Which box is the second letter in? 2. Which line? First line. Thank you. You're most welcome.
Is there something you'd like to say? Do you know how to communicate with him using the chart?
I sure do.
Please hurry up.
Box. 1 or 2. Letter. Box. 1 or 2. He says you're a great doctor. Do you realize you've just done more with 2 words than the entire nursing staff has been able to do in 2 years?
My number 2 goal was to breathe. I had to be free of that machine. I would now try to inhale a little air into my lungs, but my chest ached. After 100 breaths, I would stop to see if my lungs would expand on their own. I kept trying, but nothing was happening. When sleep came, the pictures came back. The runway was only 1,300 feet long and required a letdown over telephone wires. I reduced speed to 75 miles per hour. As I lay on my bed thinking about how powerful the mind is, I remembered an evening at my neighbor's home and a story he told me that helped motivate me to keep going.
Morris, you're a fan of Zig Ziglar's.
Uh-huh.
Ever hear the story he tells about the middle-aged man working on a refrigerator car?
No, I haven't.
Well, he was accidentally locked inside. He banged on the door, he yelled, and he screamed, but no one heard him. And finally, he accepted his destiny. He sat down, his body became numb. With his fingers, he scribbled a message on the wall for those who would eventually find him. He said, "Getting colder now, starting to shiver. Nothing to do but wait. Slowly freezing to death. Half asleep now. These are my last words." 5 hours later, they opened the car door and found the man's body. Now, a sad story, but here's the twist. The temperature inside the car was 56 degrees. The refrigeration unit was broken. There was plenty of air for him to breathe. The man simply willed himself to die.
If the mind was that destructive, surely it could heal too. I decided on a specific day and date to walk out of the hospital. Christmas.
Hi, Doris. I'm Kathy, and I'll be your physical therapist. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. Me up? I love word games, but I don't know. You might have to help me with that one.
The doctors had warned my family it was impossible. But I saw myself off the respirator and on my own 2 feet walking. This, of course, was all part of my logical success blueprint, my most important step to create a detailed mental picture of success, construct scenes of what life will be after the goal has been accomplished, imagine it already achieved, begin to act as though it had already become a reality. The same ideas work whether you're a manager, a supervisor, a salesperson, or anyone in business or in any walk of life.
Morris,
Yes, what is it?
I talked with Dr. Matthews this morning, and he wants to send you to Charlottesville for more advanced treatment.
I gave her a message for Dr. Matthews. You tell him I'll be back in 6 months, and when I come back, I'll walk into his office and shake his hand.
Are you serious? Candidly, I think you're not being very realistic about it. Don't you think you'd be a lot better off just to accept where you are and go on? I think you're setting yourself up for a big disappointment. I'll tell him, but I don't think he'll believe it.
The test continued, and so did the feeling of total helplessness.
Morris, have you had your treatment yet?
To keep the airways clear, the nurses and respiratory therapists would disconnect my ventilator and insert a small tube in my tracheostomy to suction the mucus out. It was extremely painful. It had already been done, but I couldn't communicate to her that I didn't want it done again. All I could do was lay there and let her do it. I had so many x-rays, you could have found me with a Geiger counter.
Look at that. Incredible. You ever see anyone with injuries like these survive?
No. And I won't tell anyone. They'd never believe me. This guy's a miracle man.
Hi, Morris. I'm Ruth. I'm your private duty nurse.
Morris, we're going to put something on your head to keep your neck straight because it isn't lining up properly. So we're going to fit you with a halo vest.
A halo vest, he said. Sounded almost heavenly. It was hell. But that night I continued my breathing exercises, and finally my persistence paid off. One night I did 2 sets of deep breaths. I felt my lungs expand 3 times. It was possible. I took 3 breaths on my own. The thoughts of the accident diminished somewhat, but they haunted me every now and again. I reduced power, added full flaps, and cut my airspeed to around 65. Everything was going smoothly. The next step in my blueprint for success was to allow my dream to develop. I repeated the mental scenes of my breathing and eating, talking, and walking over and over with white heat intensity. When enthusiasm and belief build, they generate the energy to make any goal a reality.
You know, we build our own barriers to success. Did you know that a circus elephant, when tied to a small stake, can't get away? Physically it could, mentally it can't. You see, when it was just a baby, it was tied with a large rope and it couldn't get loose. It was conditioned to believe it was impossible. So today, a large elephant can be tied with a small rope and it believes it can't get away. It doesn't even try. You know, our self-image means so much in life. Our self-image is a mental picture that we carry with us, made up of past victories and defeats, triumphs and humiliations. It can determine how we react to any given situation, our thoughts, our feelings, even our abilities, but it is not set in concrete. Science has proved that the central nervous system is not capable of telling the difference between actual experience and one imagined.
I believed in myself and my faith in God. Belief and faith are the most powerful and positive constructive forces known to man.
Morris, we have orders to take you off the respirator for a few minutes to see if you can breathe on your own. Why are we taking him off the respirator? Everyone in this hospital knows the nurse to his diaphragm has been severed.
Well, you believe that, and I believe that, and the whole medical staff here believes that. But until Morris believes it, we take him off the respirator for a while.
As I continued to review my success blueprint, I continued to see and feel and act like the major goal had been achieved. I was already thinking of what was next.
This. You're a miracle man. But I think you've had enough. We better put you back on again.
I was now breathing on my own respirator.
You did such a good job. Oh, you too. Congratulations, Morris. We're really proud of you.
electric chair was another milestone in my life. For me, it was a beginning. For Mildred Mitchell, it was nearly the end.
Young man, you ought to be arrested. Oh, are you over? I think so. Safe alive. It's not safe anywhere. Who knows this 19 next out of the paper? Where's my purse? He's got my purse. It's over here.
Are you saying when I call on a customer...
My next phase, according to my blueprint, was to use my accomplishments as a positive reinforcement to my next step. To speak.
Normally, your trach tube is open. Today, we're going to put a little ball over the end of it, and this is going to force the air in through your vocal cords to help you make a sound. Okay?
Now, this may frighten you a little, but just relax, because all we have to do is take the ball off so you can get some air.
Now I'm going to go ahead and place the ball over your trach tube, Morris. Now try making... some sound. That's it. Need some more air? Okay, I'm taking it away. Go ahead and breathe. Just relax. Now let's try it again. I'm going to put the ball back over your trach tube. Just try and get any kind of sound out.
I tried for weeks to make sounds. I just couldn't do it. But I didn't quit.
Okay, it's time to rest. And I want you to rest. We've got a lot of work to do tomorrow, so don't stay up all night, okay?
Mama. Mama. Sandy, I love you. It had now been 3 months since my plane went down. What I used to take for granted was now one of the most important functions in my life. Eating, but I couldn't swallow.
And I want you to try to relax. Try and open this up a little bit. I know it hurts.
Ouch.
Good. Try to relax. Let's extend these as far as we can. Good. It's tough after 3 months, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, come on. One more. One more. One good. That's good. All right. All right. Very good. All right. Let's try another.
Ruth, would you get me an orange freeze?
What did you say?
Howard Johnson's across the street. It's just sherbet and orange juice.
Can you swallow it?
Won't know till I try. Ruth. Don't get caught. I can do it. did it. Don't tell anybody about this. It might make me stop. That's good. The following day, she smuggled in chicken soup. Unsuccessfully.
You could have choked to death.
Yes, but I didn't.
Put him on a soft diet.
Your right hand. All right, lean forward. Let's take your left foot. Good. Let's move that left hand forward. Right foot. All right, good. Now lean forward. All right, now your left hand. Good. Okay. Right foot. Good. Now keep your weight forward. Good.
Morris, let me ask you, what is your goal?
To walk out of this hospital on my own 2 feet with no mechanical aid. My ultimate goal is complete recovery.
Morris, you've got to be realistic. You will never function anywhere close to the level you once did. The sooner you realize this, the better off you'll be.
I don't care if you believe that, Dr. Wiggins. It's when I start believing it that I'm in trouble.
Shame. What's a shame? Morris. He's been working for months to meet this goal he set of walking out of here. You don't think he'll make it? I heard they're releasing it next month. He'll make it. He'll make it. I know he'll make it.
I plan on walking out of here tomorrow.
Morris, I know you do. I hope that you can.
I'm going to, and with no help.
You know, discouragement can eat away at a person's soul. It can eat away at his hope. Discouragement eats away at a person's self-confidence with doubt and self-pity. When we're bubbling over with enthusiasm, anything is possible. When we're obsessed with an aim, anything is possible. Don't let anyone or any thought rob you of your goal. Remember I asked you earlier on this tape if you knew what SNI-op meant? Well, now I'm going to tell you.
Morris, I'm Tom Eldridge. I was your roommate at University Hospital. Can I talk to you?
Of course, Tommy.
You.
Thank me for what?
I have been down here watching you stumble, fall, pick yourself up over and over again. They told me that I'd never walk again. And I figured if you could, I could. I just wanted to thank you. Because if it weren't for you, I'd be in a wheelchair the rest of my life.
I always said you can get everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want.
Morris, I want to tell you that since you've been with us, you've made your mark on the lives of a lot of people here.
In my business, I always had a battle plan, a blueprint for success. I set long-range goals, took a personal inventory of my needs, carefully assessed each situation. I set many goals and set out to accomplish one at a time. I would set a time limit and then try to create a mental picture of how things would be once that goal was accomplished. I think Henry Ford said it quite nicely when he said, whether we think we can or whether we think we can't, either way, you're right.
Do you know what the staff calls you?
I'd be afraid to ask.
The Miracle Man.
Okay, hold it right here. This is where I get off.
Morris, I honestly believe that you might walk in a couple of weeks, but you are not ready yet.
And besides, it's against hospital regulations.
This moment is the very first of my goals. To walk out of this hospital on my own 2 feet. And regulations or not, that's exactly what I intend to do. I would appreciate it if someone would be kind enough to hold that door.
Stay back. There's one thing I learned in life, especially while I was here. Doesn't matter how many times we stumble and fall down. It's how many times we stumble and get back up. Stay back.
You know, I never did figure this out.
Well, you know, our thoughts, Kathy, are what control our life. Someone once said we should be the porter of our thoughts and allow only those we want realized on our bodies. That little sign helped me to realize that. It means being susceptible to the negative influences of other people. You know, negative expectations can sometimes be a self-fulfilling prophecy. And in order to keep from committing mental suicide, I had to remind myself of that daily.
You are quite a guy, Morris.
You better keep that. Maybe it'll help someone else.
Thanks.
Hey, old buddy, you see this? That, in my opinion, was not a good landing.
How could anyone survive a crash like that?
Don't want emergency medical be advised. We have an aircraft on the back of the field. Let's get this guy out of here. We have personal injury. All units be advised. We have additional backup on the way.
Think he'll make it? Are you kidding?
Dr. Matthews? I told you I'd walk in here and shake your hand.
Yes, Morris, I got the message. But I didn't believe it could be done.
And I never believed for a minute it couldn't be done.
It's important to recognize that our body is really the product of our thoughts. We're beginning to understand in medical science the degree to which the nature of thoughts and emotions actually determines the physical substance and structure and function of our bodies.
We've known in the healing arts of a placebo effect. A placebo is something that supposedly has no impact and no effect on the body, like a sugar pill or something. You tell the patient that this is just as effective. And what happens is the placebo has the same effect, if not greater effect, than sometimes the medication is supposed to be designed for that effect. So they found out that the human mind is the biggest factor in the healing arts, more so than sometimes the medication. If somebody is in a situation where they're sick and they have an alternative to try to explore what is in their mind creating it versus using medicine, if it's an acute situation that could bring death to them, then obviously the medicine is a wise thing to do while they explore what the mind is about. So you don't want to negate medicine. Every form of healing has a place.
The universe is a masterpiece of abundance, good health, and well-being. When you open yourself up to feel the abundance of the universe, you'll experience the wonder, the joy, the bliss. You'll experience all the great things that the universe has for you. Good health, good wealth, good nature. When you shut yourself off with negative thoughts, you'll feel the discomfort, you'll feel the aches, you'll feel the pain. You'll feel as if every day is painful to get through.
You know people who have had terminal disease. Stop and think of the word dis-ease. Hyphenate the word. That's a body that's not at ease.
We've got 1,000 different diagnoses and disease out there. They're just the weak link. They're all the result of one thing: stress. And you put enough stress on the chain, you put enough stress on the system, and one of the links breaks.
Our physiology creates disease to give us feedback, to let us know we have an imbalanced perspective and we're not loving and we're not grateful. So the body's signs and symptoms are not something terrible.
The question that's frequently asked is when a person has manifested a disease in their body temple or some kind of discomfort in their life, through the power of right thinking, can it be turned around? And the answer is absolutely yes.
On November 23rd, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I truly believed in my heart, with my strong faith, that I was already healed. During the day, all day long, I would just say, thank you for my healing. On and on and on I went, thank you for my healing. I believed in my heart I was healed. I saw myself as if cancer was never in my body. One of the things I did to heal myself was to watch very funny movies. That's all we would do, is just laugh, laugh, laugh. We couldn't afford to put any stress in my life because we knew stress was one of the worst things you can do while you're trying to heal yourself. From the time I was diagnosed, which was November 23rd, to the time I was healed totally was approximately 3 months. And that's without radiation and chemotherapy.
Well, we come with a basic program. It's called self-healing. You get a wound, it grows back together. You get a bacterial infection, the immune system comes and takes care of those bacteria and heals it up. The immune system is made to heal itself.
Dis-ease cannot live in a body that's in a healthy emotional state. Your body is casting off millions of cells every second, and it's creating millions of new cells.
In fact, literally, parts of our body are replaced every day. Other parts take a few months, other parts a couple of years. But within a few years, we have a brand new physical body.
If you have a disease and you're focusing on it and you're talking to people about it, you're going to create more disease cells. See yourself living in a perfectly healthy body. Let the doctor look after the disease.
You have two people, both stricken with something. But one chooses to focus on joy. They choose to live in possibility. They choose to live in hopefulness. They focus on all the reasons why they should be joyful and grateful. Then you have the second person. Same diagnosis, but they choose to focus on the dis-ease. They focus on the pain. They focus on the woe is me.
When a person is completely focused on what's wrong in their symptoms, they will perpetuate it. The healing will not occur until they shift their attention from being sick to being well, because that's the law of attraction.
Happier thoughts lead to essentially a happier biochemistry, a happier, healthier body. Negative thoughts, stress, have been shown to seriously degrade the body and the functioning of the brain, because it's our thoughts and emotions that are continuously reassembling, reorganizing, recreating our body.
Remove physiological stress from the body, and the body does what it was designed to do. It heals itself.
I've seen kidneys regenerated. I've seen cancer dissolved. I've seen eyesight improve and come back.
I always say that incurable means curable from within.
You can change your life and you can heal yourself.
Well, my story begins on March 10, 1981. It really changed my whole life. It was a day I'll never forget. I crashed an airplane. I ended up in the hospital completely paralyzed. My spinal cord was crushed. I broke the first and second cervical vertebrae. My swallowing reflex was destroyed. I couldn't eat or drink. My diaphragm was destroyed. I couldn't breathe. All I could do was blink my eyes. The doctors, of course, said all my life I'd be a vegetable. All I'd do is blink my eyes the rest of my life. That's the picture they saw of me, but it didn't matter what they thought. The main thing was what I thought. I pictured myself being a normal person again, walking out of that hospital. The only thing I had to work with in the hospital was my mind. As long as you have your mind, you can put things back together again. I was hooked to a respirator, and they said I'd never breathe on my own again because my diaphragm was destroyed. But this little voice kept saying to me, breathe deep, breathe deep. Finally, I was weaned from it. They were at a loss for an explanation. See, I could not afford to allow anything to come in my mind that would distract me from my goal and from my vision. Well, I set a goal to walk out of the hospital on Christmas. That was my goal. 8 months later, I walked out of the hospital on my own 2 feet. They said it couldn't be done. That's a day I will never forget. For people that are sitting out there right now watching this program that are hurting, if I wanted to sum up my life and sum up for people what they can do in life, I would sum it up this way in 6 words. Man becomes what he thinks about.